Yeah, that's stuff. First of all, we throw it back to you. What's interesting about this image?
If we think also about maybe the words breaking and entering, being in the space that we are, and then
reusing space or repurposing. How does that potential for reuse actually occur?
like what has to be maybe broken in this case, in maybe as well this space, you know, or what was broken in this space in this too, and it might be something also on the outside. It's an old theatre building in Detroit in the US.
So the existence of social or activities that were there sort of start to get broken down with the it's like the use programs. That's the first thing to go. What starts attracting people? Yeah.
The way the space is seen kind of gets broken and changed.
That's it. Yeah.
And actually, I mean, what happened was an economic crisis, and people just started to leave, and then others started to take over the spaces and repurpose them. I mean, it's a car parking lot. It's much too, beautiful for something like that. And this is what it's kind of turned into.
So I guess in terms of what we're doing today, what we're not looking at is the building. We're not looking at the building as the boundary, because it's the behaviour, the program, the condition, the social, the cultural, the economic boundaries that when shifted and broken down actually shift and break and reformat and build. So this workshop's about invisible boundaries, how we're going to touch them, and how we can start as designers to shift them, to break them, not break them with violence. These things are invisible. So how can you actually start to mould them and work them in the context of the city? But then, as you're designing stuff, how do you also consider the production of these invisible boundaries that are going on in space?
So this one is quite a serious one. I mean, it's quite an obvious one, the disconnect between theatre and now car park and ruin. And there are smaller ones, and it is this kind of almost repurposing, what you have, and that's also done in architecture. You just need a form, and then a program can be inserted, whatever that may be. But there are certain, and I can use the word already, there are certain conventions that are also broken down, and I think that's also the convention that we want to, as a word that we want to talk about.
Question. So in order to break a boundary or to break the program's boundary, does that mean in a way you need to design an existing program in order to break it? Or
I think you have to be more, as a designer, more attuned to possibilities where you may be able to break the boundaries. If that's like a cultural shift that's happening, if it's a political shift that's happening, political and national level, but also on a city level. Kind of understanding where these opportunities lie in order to then repurpose or break the convention in some sort of way. So it's kind of, I think what we're talking about is this kind of really gentle, careful, but very smart and intelligent way to kind of infiltrate the city and its space without necessarily having to build something new and also to furnish something new in the way that the program asks us for. And I think that's really evident in that image. And there are, of course, a lot of things going on here. And another thing as designers, we need to be aware of all of the levels. So, newspapers, knowing who to vote for and why we vote for them. I think the culture in Australia, I think Melbourne's maybe a little bit better, but I know Sydney it's so with knowing who the politicians are, what their aims are, and what things are being passed. And kind of being able to take bits out in order, this is quite severe, but we'll explore some small ways to break convention and to see where a convention can kind of be very simple.
I mean, in terms of this as a site, let's identify as the group kind of the boundaries that are going on here.
I instantly utilise the standard ones. That's the first one in terms of the carpet.
Yeah. Actually, did anyone bring masking tape?
Yeah, I've got
cool.
masking tape.
Let's get masking tape out and actually mark them before someone throws us out. The police thing. But yeah, maybe if we could all just spend like 5 minutes marking out the boundaries of this kind of space here.
And remembering that they can be almost invisible. They're implied. Not necessarily just what's already marked. They can be social, cultural, economic. These kind of things.
I have chalk as well.
Yeah. Did you break something then? What's understood? Yeah.
And there's people's property and then they're responsible for it that aren't there to
I guess we also, we broke a programmatic boundary. We weren't plugging cars, we were having a workshop, a spatial workshop. And that causes discomfort because a political view of space suggests that we should really, in order that the city is in control, we should just use things for the way in which they are intended to be used by the kind of the people in power. So what are the things that people marked out? Oh yeah.
So what did you mark out?
the speed sign of
Yeah.
equalities, that's not activities.
Yeah.
You're starting to mark out the reserves.
Yeah, so I first started doing like boundary itself, like my stuff, and then I'll jump in that. And then I saw the reserve sign and with the column.
Yeah.
And I was going to take it from the column to the reserve sign and that orange cone to the other one, so marking off that whole area.
Yeah.
But he came.
I think that's a really, like, had you been able to do that, that is a really gorgeous way to illustrate that boundaries actually produce space, or boundaries produce interior. Because it's jung, 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 jung. You've got an interior, you've got an exterior.
Yeah.
You're producing something. Which also happens in complex ways, such as Cherie's example of with movement. Like, that's also production of kind of interior forces through controlling how fast you're going to be moving through that space. So they're really quite powerful.
site to the signs, like the police sign, so sort of that space in front of that, and then closes that with the others too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. There was someone that marked out just around themselves or around a bed. Like that.
My area where I was taking up
Okay.
space.
Parking yourself.
So your personal boundary or yeah.
Like kind of breathing space.
Yeah. 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 There's something inadequate about that, about masking tape as a way to mark that. And what would that be in terms of marking personal space?
Just talking. Alright, cheers. There.
Yeah. And also that that you move. Yeah. That it's temporal. That boundary is.
I was moving around you, putting it up and putting
Yeah, the moment you put it. Yeah, exactly. So it's nice to be aware of the mobility of these things as well. Anyone have anything different that they were marking down?
I was doing the car spaces because you're not allowed to be over the line.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, definitely.
I was thinking about the ventilation of the car park, and I'm not sure if that's a boundary, but in a way that needs to exist for that space to exist. So if there wasn't any ventilation,
Yeah,
we
interesting.
couldn't actually be down there. So
Yeah,
I guess it's more of a facilitating boundary in a way.
yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Kind of a service. Yeah.
Yeah, it supports the boundary, doesn't it? Yeah. Support to it.
It's marked out the other cars. Someone else's probably in terms of like, you know, if he's coming in with a car as well, you've got the lines on the ground, which I was talking about, but you've also got the other items in the cars. That's sort of a mutual respect.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah. Almost like a private habitation space.
And a convention and a socialization. I think that we start to understand, you know, the boundaries, not personal boundaries as in what exists around us, but also what we find socially acceptable and
Yeah.
and how we also understand that the car spaces are aligned, we have to fit within these. We're not allowed to park, I'm now looking just on a bit of a bigger, zoomed out level, that we're not allowed to park in the police part, that we're kind of respectful in that kind of way. I also think best case scenario that someone comes and kind of says, okay, I have to stop it, you have to leave. We can start talking about private and public space and where you can push those boundaries to. And then again, if you look at the picture, this is such an extreme case. What the hell has to happen here that we're able now to drive our cars
Into the theatre.
into this beautiful or ex-beautiful space? So here we have a not beautiful space, but we understand certain conventions and how we use that. We're not even as people really allowed to go in there and put semi-permanent lines on the floor. Here, you know, it's a complete violation almost of what it was to such an extreme because it's such a beautiful old structure that was actually used for cultural purposes, you know. So yeah, it's this, for me, this thing here is a real violation, and there aren't really even lines marked out here. So you can also tell that people can kind of organize themselves in these kind of scenarios. Here we have something very strict, even what we as people are really allowed in the car park. Here cars are allowed to infiltrate an interior that is absolutely not for that purpose. So my question would be, you know, in what kind of scenarios
You know, another question I had also, sort of in a way in relation to that, is in order to legally sort of go in and park, you need to be able to get a ticket and be able to afford to pay for the parking.
Yeah.
And city parking is extraordinarily expensive, so that in a way also forms a boundary. So if you can't afford to pay the parking, you don't have enough money on the day, that's a boundary that's stopping you from parking in there. And also another thing is, if we all went in and took tickets, would we then be accepted because we're paying for our right to be in there? Maybe we don't have a car, or if we all grouped into a car and went in, would that have made it acceptable? That's a question I would have.
To take over like maybe one car spot, like we all pitched in for a ticket to take up that
And
car
we
spot
inhabit
for
the
day.
spot, and then we pay for how many hours we were in there for. Yeah.
And if we start to line up our cars in 3 spots, that is already like this demarcation of our space. But then the question also, how much do we own, how much don't we own? And then something that's going to appear again and again, which is a really nice point that comes up, is breaking space through having the right object. In this case, it would be a car, right? So just kind of keep that in your minds, because I think objects and semiotics and people's understanding of these objects will help a lot in this breaking and entering theatre. So you bring it up already. Absolutely. I just quickly want to ask the question again. In what case do you think this kind of thing happened?
There's even some quite recent global events that I guess this sort of thing became something which we all saw on the news.
Like sort of the private entities breaking down, like as a result of big non-prices. So when, actually that's
clothes and walked into one of those shops, I wouldn't feel cleaner.
Okay, yep.
I'd just feel like I'd never try something on
Yeah.
because
And it's a good
Okay, yeah, right. It's almost like a cultural...
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said I don't have any interest in what's in there because I would never buy something from there.
Yeah. So even if somebody gave you, say, $5,000 and said you can shop on this street, you have to spend the money on the street, would you feel comfortable?
I would.
so would I.
If that was specific, and if that was the frame,
Yeah.
then it would almost become a game. And I think games also break this down in some way.
Yeah.
You know, you can.
It's true. Like
make
I've never
yourself
been into
feel-
these stores before until I was challenged to go inside.
Yeah, and we
Then
give
I
you
felt
an
like I had a
excuse.
purpose.
Exactly.
That's interesting. I think the thing is that if there's a potential for that shift in I do belong or I don't belong, that shift actually puts the boundary up or down. It makes it thicker or thinner. It makes you be able to go through it, or you just get it.
So I think like when I was in there when I first walked in, I felt really uncomfortable, but then it was kind of walking around and realizing that it wasn't as bad as I thought it might be.
Yeah.
Then it became a little bit fun. So
What is that?
walked past the sunglasses the first time. I was like, I'm not going to try them on, and then crossed over the other store. I was like, Ellie, let's go try on the sunglasses.
Yeah.
So it became a bit of a game.
Yeah. So it's kind of it's psychological. This boundary is actually produced up here
And personal.
and changeable. So it's kind of interesting to then add into our kind of marking out of these spatial boundaries. It's also in your mind that a lot of them are actually produced. Yeah.
And Maya tried on a dress. In there.
How'd it go? What did you encounter? What did you touch to boundary wise?
The lady was quite nice to me.
Shivers.
Yeah, much nicer than the doorman.
Did you expect of looking at stuff from a distance to then picking out, like, what was the thought process in picking out something, and then how did you feel after you tried it on and took it off?
Well, it was a bit surprising because I thought that I see people every day wearing that kind of thing, and I don't realise how expensive it is. It looks quite a lot like something I might buy from a cheaper shop. So maybe there's like a 1,400 and something. And I was like, I could buy something that looks quite like this for like $100. And I don't know, it's a little bit like maybe a boundary between me and somebody who has a lot more money to spend on clothes, but you really can't tell on the street, except for the little Chanel logo.
Yeah, interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. And said I'll have a flat white in China. I'm just going to sit down here. I probably have a problem with that. But if I say I'll have a flat white to take away, I can go to like Glenferrie. I can get on the tram and just go. And by all rights, that is an extension of Jungle Juice boundary, the branding on the cup. And we know what that is. But it's just that material shift from ceramic to hard. And the cultural shift of the takeaway coffee culture, which two coffees, so to have here, and then they just took the cups off and then put them on the scale. That's lovely. Did they return them? No. Oh, just took them away. Yeah, right. That's kind of, yeah. I walked, actually, I made a coffee in our studio and then walked to UTS with the China cup last week. So many people looked at me. I was walking along the street with a mug. Is somehow a little off. So it's being sensitive to the subtlety of the materiality also of how you.
The same thing happens with food. If you slice up a cucumber and take it in Tupperware, then you can sit on the street and eat it. But if you have a cucumber and you start lighting it, maybe it's because it's phallic or something, but you also can't eat corn on the cob in public without getting funny looks. But you can eat it with a spoon if it's cut off the cob.
Yeah, that's and perception, isn't it? Yeah, how smart is something?
I've obviously used to make salads and then take them over, like make a bit of bowl and then I'll go and sit on the grass and go to the square.
And that depends what you're wearing, because there are sort of a number of people where you've got an office and just around the corner you've got a restaurant and they will take the food to them, but if you're wearing an apron, people guess what you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
So there's that as well.
Yeah, it's that, and that's just an indication.
Yeah.
Just such a simple shift. So as designers, I guess that's one way of doing site analysis. One way of working with the city is actually to take on these objects, to be very careful in how you choose, and then to be testing how you can move these boundaries around by simply tying something on, holding something in front of you.
And edging these boundaries just how maybe it's not in the end about breaking them, but just testing a little bit and extending the space, right? In the end we're talking about space, so how can we extend the space beyond the boundary? And again coming back to without building as an idea, right? And another thing I think I wanted to mention was just a project that one of our professors did with us, and he talks about a similar thing that we're interested in. He calls it though the porosity of the city. So he deals with private and public space and how far you can get into this private space. He says that private space is quite dangerous, and public space makes a city actually safer and and we broke the boundary very simply
we wanted to offer today.